So we just had a crazy morning trading session. I ended up scalping calls 4 times in a row, every single time the SPY dropped below 413, and then I sold those calls in the money. I ended up making a little bit over $6,500 in profit doing that. And then we also had Ninja close out his swing trade on NVIDIA. There's NVIDIA call options right now that are up over 10,000%. It's absolutely unreal with those all-time highs. But in terms of Ninja, man, and again, he alerted this real time in the chat, and he gave his reasoning and information on why him and his buddies were swing trading millions of dollars worth of calls. We have a couple whales here within Trader Society, but he ended up making, as you could see right here, I know it's hard to see, but he ended up making $6.3 million on those NVIDIA calls, man. He had 3,200 contracts, and then he decided to hold 1,200 out of those 3,200 overnight, and he absolutely crushed it, man. We had people make a killing 2,000% profit return on NVIDIA. We had a guy just make a 93% return on his account with the SPY swing trade idea. But anyways, man, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to be recapping our trades. I'm going to be sharing with you my analysis that I can give right now, and then this can change frequently throughout the day. But basically, in terms of our key analysis that we gave members, man, we just crushed it. In terms of the polls, we don't have a single person red in the morning. And with that being said, man, this was the key levels. And I'm going to break this down. I'm going to teach you how I'm able to come up with this information. If you guys have been studying my, content for the past week, it's been like 100% spot on and accurate within our community because I caught this trend and pattern, and it just keeps on repeating itself. This history, this pattern, this trend that I ended up capturing very, very early before a lot of people just keeps on repeating itself in very similar cycles. That's how I'm able to be so accurate. So as you can see right here, this was posted last night. I said the daily candle, this is our key levels, this is our watch list analysis section, right? I said the daily candle and pattern I'm seeing on the SPY says we're going to have a very bullish trend day and to avoid puts. I will be targeting pre-market lows to buy the dips. Once the bulls break above 414, which is happening right now, and if they can break above that, hold and form a support level, it's going to be on track to have a massive run to that 416 to 417, previous resistance level. The key level of interest for calls is the previous resistance that hasn't been tested in that 412 zone, So when we saw this, for massive support, this was the key for our entry, man. We were bullish. We were expecting a trend day. And in terms of, 412, how did I come up with the 412 level? 412, you can see right here, this 411.90, this 412, this was like previous resistance that really hasn't been tested, right? So the point is, since it had a massive gap up, and then you could see it filled the gap at 414, it had its gap close reversal, reacted bearish, but when it drops back down to these previous resistance levels, or if it drops back down to the previous closing price, it's going to try to react to support in reverse and go bullish. And the reason why I was expecting it to be a bullish daily trend day is because, the pattern. If you look at that pattern, I called this in 2 videos ago as well. If you look at this pattern, look at this, man. I want you to compare the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen. You have this red candle, and then it gaps up, and then it trends up. Then you have this doji, it starts to trend back down. Once it fills the gap, it forms this pin. You have a pin at the gap fill right here. Once it closes this gap, it has a reversal when this gap fills. And that's at the bottom of the channel where the massive bear trap was created, where the massive spike and gap up was created. And then you can see the next day, look at what happened the next day. The next day, it had a gap up and it closed very, very strong, a strong bullish trend day. Look at what's happening right now. Compare this left side to what I just told you to this right side. Right here, you have this red candle, see the red candle, then you have a gap up, then you have a gap up, then it trends up, then it trends up, then you have the doji, then you have the doji, then it starts getting crushed, then it starts getting crushed, then you have this bearish candlestick right here, see this bearish candlestick right here, and then you have this bearish candlestick right here, see the bearish candlestick right here, and then it gaps down, and then it gaps down, and then once it fills the gap at 404, and then once it fills the gap at 410.25, it begins to have a reversal, it forms the bottom wick. What happens the next day? The next day, it gaps up and it closes strong towards the highs. Just look at that pattern, man. Bearish candle, gap down, gap down. There was a gap to fill at 404, bottom of the wick. There was a gap to fill at 410.25, bottom of the wick. Next day, gaps up, closes strong. Right now, gapping up, already trying to close strong. Do you see that? Do you see how these 3 daily candlesticks are identical with this V-shaped recovery? You see the V as well. That's how simple this game can really be if you understand how to capture trends before they start playing out. You catch a trend early, you're going to do very, very well. So in terms of the opening, right, because this pattern and trend is repeating itself so similar, that's how I was able to come up with the closing price yesterday. I said yesterday SPY is going to close at 411 because on this day, the low of day was at 403.74 and it closed like $1.25 above the low of day. And the same thing happened yesterday. The low of day was at 409.90 and it closed like $1.25 above the low of day. That's how we were able to come up with this. And we knew that 409 was going to be the low of day because later into the day it was trading around that price and it just didn't make sense to go lower because it had this spike. It was at the key support level, right? So this trend, this pattern, this history keeps repeating itself. And, some people are looking at me, they're saying, man, this guy's a wizard, this guy's a genius. But what I'm doing is, and the reason why the trades are so accurate is I'm identifying patterns. I'm capturing these patterns, these trends that other people don't see, that they don't look at. And I'm finding ways to capitalize on these patterns, on these trends in a very, very safe way. So if this, history, it tends to repeat itself in very similar cycles. And then it's going to get to a point where this just no longer works. History no longer repeats itself. That's where we cut our loss. We stop out. And then we just wait for something. We wait for a new gap, a new pattern to form, something new, right? We've been catching this pattern for literally a week now. We've been banking on this both ways, man. It's truly incredible what you can do within the stock market if you understand how to catch a trend early. You don't have to be the first one to catch it like we did at 410.25. But man, if you can figure out how to be the first one to catch it, man, that's where you can make the most amount of money. So anyways, man, in terms of this day right here, the trend, the pattern keeps repeating itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to study the opening price. It opened up at 408.91 and the low of day was 408.64. So it didn't drop much from the opening, right? So it had a very bullish day and it did not drop much from the opening. So with that in mind, I didn't even think we were going to go back to 411.09 at the previous closing price. I was targeting the previous resistance levels that haven't been tested. They haven't been tested because SPY just had a massive gap up and the swing trade idea ended up working out phenomenally. But these were the previous resistance levels right here. These were the levels that really haven't been tested. This like 412.70. If you look at the 1 minute chart, so if we look at the resistance, you could see right here, this resistance level at 411.90, this was tested. It had a breakout, it was tested, then it went higher. Previous resistance turned into support, that's bullish, right? But the levels that were not really tested once they had a breakout was this 412.70. So I'm thinking to myself, and in terms of the SPY today opened up at, 414.74. And based off of that daily pattern, it said it dropped like 30 cents from the opening price, which was literally the exact low. The same thing played out. That's how we were able to buy calls at such great prices because we studied this pattern. If the pattern's going to repeat, it's going to drop about, 30, 40 cents from the opening price. Plus, where can we identify some key levels to be buying calls, not just purely based off of that pattern? Right here, it never really tested this like 412.70 to 412.30 resistance zone. It never really tested this kind of 412.70 to like 412.40 type of zone. This zone right here. These were resistance levels that were not tested. It just gapped up above. It never really tested. So when it goes back to those levels, it's going to try to repeat that pattern where it bottoms 30, 40 cents below the opening price. And if you see bounces and key support levels and wicks at those levels, you're going to want to be buying calls. Plus, and all the confirmations were there, man. It bounced several times towards that key level. This bounced several times at this 412.60, 412.60, 412.60, man. This is why you got to be in the chat and you got to be in the group, man. I already called it in terms of my day for now. I'm calling it for a little bit. I'm taking a little break here. But I told him, man, look, if you guys want to take the risk and you want to hold calls, today should be a very bullish trend day if you want to leave your runners on. I'm a scalper. I get in, I get out. Every single time SPY went under 413, I hit calls 4 times on the dip, sold in the money, bought my calls out of the money when it was under 413, sold in the money spike when it went to 413.20. 4 times in a row, $6,500 profit. I understand if this pattern, if this trend, if this history repeats itself, we can go to $417 today, because if 414 becomes a floor, the next level is going to be $417. But that would be a holding type of strategy. So in terms of scalping, what we look to do instead of holding and hoping is, because this pattern and trend can flip at any time, but it just keeps repeating so accurately, man. It's been doing extremely well. And I told people, I'm not doing puts once today. I said right here, the target for SPY is 415 at 10:30. And I alerted so many times, if you go to 413 calls, it's all me, man. It's all fucking me within this chat. I did it 4 times. Today. Alerted real time, just all calls, man. And everyone's up very, very nicely. But like I was saying, man, basically the way we scalp this is what we do, man. In this post, just this one post right here, if you understood how to use it, made me over $6,500 in profits today. Today, I'll mainly be focused on doing this. I will wait for SPY to break above a resistance level. It could be any resistance level. What I'm looking for is a break above resistance, and ideally, I want it to be an overreaction. I want it to be a big breakout. Once it drops back to that previous resistance, to that overreaction level where the bear trap was created, where that previous resistance was, I'm going to look to buy the dip, because on a bullish trend day, when SPY breaks above resistance and it drops back to that previous broken resistance, right, that previous breakout area where the previous resistance was, it's going to try to react as a support level. That's how I play trend days. So basically what I'm telling you is, this is a great example right here. So let's show some examples. See how there's resistance right here at 413.30. It breaks above resistance. When it retests 413.30, I buy calls instantly. Previous resistance right here reacts to support. Where's the new resistance level? Oh, right here. Your new resistance is at $414. When it breaks above 414, once it retests back to 414, you buy calls, and now it's confirmed support. Bulls are going to run this to 417 likely, man. The bears are going to get fucking slaughtered. And we called this, man. I told him, I'm not doing puts once today. We call this 100% spot on. So that's how, those are some ways on how we catch trends, on how we catch patterns. I've seen some people in terms of my comment section, they say, sometimes in your videos when you're giving us a trading plan, you don't have too strong of an opinion, whether you're bullish or bearish. And the reason for that is, man, you have to be in the group, man. You have to be in the group. We have our strong analysis in the pre-market, and I don't give away all my information for free. And you just have to be in the group, man. My analysis, my real-time trade alerts, my real-time analysis, it is all shared within my private community in Discord. The trading plan videos, sometimes I'll give strong opinions and I'll bring awareness to patterns. But if you want to see, because this is what you have to understand, man, I can point out patterns in a video, right? But what I do in this Discord is I confirm if these patterns are going to work. I confirm if this history, if this trend that we're capturing before anybody else, because they don't read it like how we read it, they don't see it how we see it with our third eye. I confirm if it's actually going to work using candlesticks. So I'll use confirmations with these trade ideas that I'm seeing. And if it's playing out how I want to, then I'll be getting in on the trade, right? Like, for example, if this pattern repeats itself, it dropped 30 cents. The low of day was 30 cents from the opening price. SPY opened up at 400 and 414.74. So it wasn't exactly 30 cents, but the point being is, well, it's probably going to try to bounce, and we'll give it a shot at that previous resistance level towards 412.70 to 412.50, right? And if it goes under that, we're stopped out tight. See, this is what I love. This is a great example right here. SPY's having a big pullback. This is what I love to see. And then I'll look for previous resistance levels to buy the dip, and I'll use the tight stop in that situation. So now they're going to try to bounce it towards 413.80. However, this right here, this is a little bit bearish. So I would sit on the sidelines and wait for some bullish to come in. But they're going to try to send this back up, man. But this is a very bearish reaction at the moment. But the point is, this is what I look for. I look for opportunities like this. This is where the money is made, when you see these overreactions to the downside, man. But that's my overall thoughts. That's my overall analysis, man. Today was a very, very spot on day. I just wanted to, explain to you guys in terms of, some of the strategies and what it is that we're doing within the group. And like I said, man, you just have to be there to see it, man. We had people absolutely crushing it, man. Every single day, man. We had a guy make 6.3 million. He's retired now on NVIDIA calls. It is possible, man. NVIDIA calls are up over 11,000%. It is possible to do that, man. It's truly life-changing what you can do within the stock market, man. Everybody crushed it today. Big shout out to the group. I'm still going to be looking for opportunities. I'm still going to be trading. If you do want to be a part of Trader Society, it is that first link down below in the description. And the reason why my trades are so accurate is, like I said, I capture trends, I capture patterns. And what I do is, it is my responsibility as I'm catching and identifying those trends. I'm measuring the move. I measure the move to see how high we can go, how low we can go, where the best entries are, stuff like that. But basically, it is my responsibility to confirm that history, that trend, that pattern, what I'm seeing in the past is going to be the future results, is going to repeat itself. So just imagine having a strategy where basically imagine having a strategy when you win. So in terms of my win rate, it's sitting at like 75%, 75%, right around there. So just imagine having a strategy where basically when you win, it's going to do exactly what you want it to do. And why is that? Because history repeats itself in very similar cycles, sometimes in exact cycles. So people are going to look at you and they're going to think you're a wizard and you know exactly what it's going to do, because your trade is based off of something that has already happened. And then we have this other strategy where it's based off of something that is going to happen. It's just going to happen. And when it works, it does exactly what you want it to do. But we scalp. We don't hold for a very, very long period of time. We're not holding for bigger winners. So, if you're not having a big win, what you can do is you can go at closer expirations and you can get a big win percentage wise, and you could take a decent size, but you don't want to go heavy on that, right? And it adds up. Like I said, man, if you're doing a closer expiration, you can make a 10% profit return in like a 20-cent move on the SPY. Now, that 10%, say you put 10% of your account into that trade and you made 10% on that option contract, right? That's a 1% return on your account. You compound that, and then a year later, your small account can go from 50,000 to 100K. So basically the way it works is, in the beginning, when you're growing your account, you focus on the percentage gains. The percentage gains is the key. And then once you make it big to upper six figures to seven figures, then you just focus on the dollar gains and cashing out. Because when you make it to that level of status in like wealth and money, your percentage gains just aren't going to be insane unless you're taking massive risk. And when you have that much wealth, you don't want to be taking massive risk, because then you're going to be exposed to dropping back to the bottom. But you do have a big cushion, which is good. But typically what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to become a lot more conservative once you become successful in trading and hit upper six figures to seven figures. And then you kind of just focus more on the dollar gain, and your percentage gains won't be as big. But in the beginning, you're not going to be making much money, but you're going to be making crazy percentage returns. And then that adds up, it snowballs and compounds. It's a time game. It's a time game to see who could trade the best, who's the most disciplined, who trades the best set of those prices, and then within time, they will be rewarded financially. But they will not be rewarded financially in a short period of time, because we're getting in, we're getting out, we're locking our profits. We're not holding hopes. And you can create a strategy where you hold for bigger wins. That's fine. But you have to understand, if you're holding for bigger wins, you cannot size in big, because you will blow up. So basically, in terms of risk management, I'm doing something where I'm making just as much as money, maybe a little bit less, but I'm making very, very good money compared to people who are holding for a long period of time. But I'm in my trades for such a short period of time. I don't have to hold for a long period of time. Stress-free, in and out, call it for my day, boom, just like that, man. That's my big advantage, man. So, if you do want to surround yourself with Trader Society, with our community, and like I said, this guy who hit the NVIDIA swing trade, he's learned like 2 to 3 trades a month. He had the craziest trade on SPY. He was swing trading SPY call options when everyone was bearish. He was in at like 415.50, 416. He was in towards the top, not the best entry. He swinged it and he sold at 420. Nobody was bullish. He was the only bullish one in the chat. Everyone else was bearish. Some people swing trade puts. But anyways, man, this guy's been crushing it. He used to work for, I believe, Merrill Lynch, and he made over $6 million today. It's truly inspiring what you can do within the market. And like I said, all of his analysis, all of his logs, all of his trades, all of our trades, all of our analysis, everything is within the search bar. You search our username, you're going to see, wow, there's like 100 pages of these people, talking, and you can go through everything it is that we're saying. And it's all timestamped in real time. And you can really learn a lot from just doing that. So if you want to get access to the video lesson library, if you want to get access to our group, to our team, if you want to get access to, the group, the team, the video lesson library, the Discord server, all of our real-time trade alerts, not for you to blindly follow, but for you to see what it is that we're doing in real time and learn from. Live trading streams, live trading voice channels, it is all within the chat, guys. So like I said, man, I'm going to be wrapping it up. If I see something good, I'm going to let my team know. But these, I'm telling you, man, these trading plan videos, these videos that I post, they just don't do it justice. It's something you have to be there for. You have to see it in real time. You have to see it actually happening, man, because it does not get more accurate than being in the Discord, man, because that's when the candlesticks are forming. That's when the confirmations are forming. I could have levels in advance saying I'm bullish or bearish here, but if there's no confirmation, I'm not getting at that level. I have to confirm that history trend pattern is going to repeat itself. I can't just blindly get in. But with that being said, man, we're going to be calling it here. Just to give you some updates in terms of what I can give you now. Obviously, this can change throughout the day within my Discord server. Things can change very, very quickly. We are scalpers. Basically, in order to go bullish, SPY needs to break above 414 and they need to turn into support. If that happens, we're going to go to 415, which I believe was the pre-market highs. If we break above 415, we're going to go to 416, upper 416 zone. Now, in terms of the bears, the only way I would really believe that SPY goes bearish is if we crack the low. If we crack the low at 412.40 and turn resistance, then it's going to start to fill the gap below. But if we crack the low and it pumps back up and turns 412.40 into support, then I'm likely buying calls again with a tight stop. But basically, in terms of the bears, they need to crack 412.40, turn it into resistance, then they need to drop. Then we drop to 411. If 412.40 reacts to support, we pump back up. For the bulls to continue their bullish trend day run, they need to break above 414. There's a gap right here. It's been reversing at this level. It's the middle level, not the best level to be trading at in terms of risk to reward. They need to break above this and turn it into support. I'm rooting for the bulls. I'm not blindly doing anything. My trades are very strategically made. But in terms of levels that we're watching, we're going to be watching 414. We're going to be watching high 412s. And of course, the gap, which I doubt is going to fill, but we'll see, man. We're going to be using the 30-minute chart. We trade this 30-minute chart. We look at the 1-minute chart, and we will see some good trading opportunities, man. Look at this. Why would you not be buying calls when there's a dragonfly doji at the low of day? Based off of everything I told you, it's going to try to bounce off previous resistance zone, 412.70, to 412.50. There's a dragonfly doji at the low of day. It bounced several times off the channel. Why wouldn't you be buying calls? We were smashing calls at this level. I told people, you have to get in calls here. Hit calls. This is the best price possible. We have a bullish trend reversal doji, man. So my overall views is I'm avoiding puts. I'm not blindly buying into calls. I wish the bulls the best. And we will be looking for more potential opportunities. Not that we need any more, man. Like I said, there was 4 trades. We hit 4 trades. Every single time it dipped under 413, we alerted calls. The group is doing a fantastic job, man. This was a truly insane day. I want to give a big shout out to everybody within the chat because you guys absolutely crushed it, man. This was such a phenomenal day. Man, this one guy made 90. Yeah, this guy right here, AB. He's done for the day. 95% return on the day. He absolutely killed it, man. A $500 profit, just joined the program, made back to CrossFit. The guy made a 95% return today. Yeah, man, this last week, spent $500 to join. After a weekend, studying the material and using the levels, man. That's what I'm saying. We have the material, we have the levels, we have the competence, we have the community, we have the networks. We're going to be pushing over 1,500 members soon, and we're growing rapidly. If you want to be a part of it, man, look, it's a one-time fee. And then that's it. You pay your one-time fee, you get lifetime access. If you want to surround yourself with the right traders, with the right network, with the right mentorship group, this is going to be the place for you, man. There's nobody as crazy as we are. We have the craziest levels. We hit the best trades, and we plan very strategically with an advance. The analysis is almost spot on every single time, man. The polls speak for themselves. The results speak for themselves. And we do have whales within this chat. We had a guy who made $6 million today. $6 million. On one single trade, man, $6 million. And then this is what you're supposed to be doing. Compounding your account, making your 1 to 2% whenever you trade. And then when you have a red day, you want to keep it under like 1%, 1.5%. But this is what we do, man. Compound account, 1.63% return, $300 profit. It adds up. You compound it. It starts off very, very small. Like I said, you have a small account. You're not going to be making a lot of money first, but anybody within the program can do very well percentage-wise if they are disciplined, consistent, study, do what they're supposed to do, and not drift away and not FOMO into plays and not overtrade. You can do very well percentage-wise, and then it's just going to take time. Think about it. People go to school for 4 years, and they go in debt. They don't make any money for 4 years. With trading, you're not going to make a lot of money first if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. You shouldn't be making much money first unless you're doing what you're supposed to be doing with a large account. But if you have a small account, you start small like most people do when they're going to school, they don't have a lot of money. You're not going to be making a lot of money first, but you can do very well percentage wise, and then you compound those percentage gains, and then they start turning into dollar gains. And then once you start seeing bigger dollar gains, then you start focusing on the dollar gain rather than the percentage gain. You start being more conservative because you're making good money now. If you're making bigger percentage returns, that means you're taking bigger risk. But there's a way to, the main way to make great percentage returns without a lot of risk is there's like two ways to do it. You can hold a zero date and win big, but we don't do that. So we don't go that path. But you can make more trades. You can make more trades with a cash account, and you scalp them. You get in, you get out. The wins are going to be small, but if you make enough trades, it adds up to very, very well. But it's just a time game, man. We don't over trade. I hit my 4 trades. We're chilling. We're calling it for now. The day is young. The day is young. I'm telling you, man, if we see something on the 30-minute, we can bang out 3 scalps within 30 minutes. And it's only 11:30. So if you think about it, 12 p.m., that's another 30 minutes, 12:30, 1, 1:30, 2, 2:30, 3, 3:30. There's gonna be 8 more 30-minute candles. And like I said, within those 30-minute candles, we can bang out 3 more scalps. We wait though. We wait for the key levels. We wait for the confirmations. We're very, very patient. We're content. We crushed it. We dominated the morning. So we're chilling now. We take a step back. We wait for the chart to develop. We wait for some sort of pattern to form. We wait for some sort of key level to hit. We're chilling right now. There is no FOMO. That's why I'm making this video lesson right now, because there's no trade for me right now. I'm chilling. So I'm going to keep on working, find other ways to make money as I'm making money within the market. And I have all my price alerts set, man. We teach people how to do this, man. Soon enough, I'm going to be teaching people how to make money in terms of, social media and marketing and other strategies more than just the stock market, because our strategy isn't time consuming. We get in, we get out, we prepare very strategically in advance, and we don't sit here and watch this all day. Now, I will say, if you do sit here and watch this all day, you will have an unfair advantage than anybody else, because you will understand the way it's moving. You will understand the price action more in the way it's moving. There is an unfair advantage to, just sitting in a room and staring at a screen all fucking day. There is some advantage to doing that. Not that you need to do that, though, to be successful, but there is some advantage to watching this because you understand how it's moving and you understand the overall price action. But you don't even have to do that, man. Like I said, we just focus on the patterns and the key levels. Basically, I'm mainly watching this when every single 30-minute candle closes and the new one opens. That's where you're going to really see me focused and watching to see if there's a trade. But with that being said, if you want to join Trader Society, it is the first link down below in the description. It's a one-time fee. It's lifetime access. Now is the best time to invest into yourself. Look, man, it's never been easier to make money, but you have to be good and you have to be great. But it's never been easier to make money. With that being said, though, there's a lot of people who don't understand and know how to do it, and they are down really, really bad because there is no middle class, man. There is no middle anymore. You are either poor or you are wealthy. But if you understand it and you learn from the right people, you can become wealthy. You can become rich. It's never been easier, but it's not going to be done easily. But if you learn from the right people, it can be done. That's what I'm telling you, man. If you have the right mentorship, if you learn from the right people, if you trade the chart, if you utilize the lessons that we're using, it can be done. You just have to understand it, man. Basically, if you are great at what you do, it has never been easier to make money. But if you're not there yet, then you're in the middle, man. You're poor. You're just not there yet. But once you get there, you're going to see it's never been easier to take money from other people within the stock market. It's a brutal game, man. And that's literally what this is. You're taking money from other people, and everything is strategically planned, man. It is all strategically done. So with that being said, man, we're going to be wrapping up this lesson here. If you want to join, it is the first link down below in the description, man. This is truly incredible. 2 days ago, I woke up sick. I was feeling very, very sick. For the first time, I got like a liquid IV, like one of those liquid IVs, like antivirus, all these vitamins, all that good stuff, right? Where they stick the needle in your arm, right? You sit there for like 30 minutes. I got that done for the first time. I'm barely sick now. It cost me $200, but that performance fee was worth it. I feel great. I'm still a little bit sick, but I'm performing, man. Like back when I had zero money, I didn't have that option to do that. And I would just be really fucking sick and depressed just laying in bed. But now I'm starting to realize I'm telling you, man, health is wealth, and it's truly incredible what you can do if you have the right influence, if you have the right money, if you have the right knowledge, you have the right education. So if you want to surround ourselves with Trader Society, it's the first link down below in the description. I will see you guys within the chat.